guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a book review for Heart of Thorns by Bree Barton. So if you didn't know, this book follows Mia Rose, who up until this point has been training to be a huntress in the Circle, which is a group of men and women who fight and hunt the Gwyroch, which are the mystical creatures that are half human, half god, and they have magical abilities and they're seen as very dangerous. However, Mia ends up getting betrothed to the heir of Glasdire, Prince Quinn, and her world gets turned upside down even more when she discovers that she is in fact a Gwyroch also. So this book follows her and Quinn in her discovery as who she is as a Gwyroch and how she fits into this world. This book at its heart is about feminism and the strength and power of women. And more importantly, it is about the love a mother can have for her daughter and the love a sister can have for her sisters. I really loved this story. I loved Bree Barton's beautiful, figure-of-speech heavy prose that perfectly encapsulated what she was describing or what she was talking about throughout this whole story. The world was built perfectly around me as I thread through this book, and in my opinion, it is another example of how a world in a fantasy novel should be built around the reader as they read. The characters were well-rounded and completely different from one another. None of them were similar or the same in any way. So the two main characters that we follow through the story are Mia Rose and Prince Quinn. At the beginning, Mia sort of reminded me of Selena Sidorfian from the Throne of Glass series, which I was worried about because if she continued to remind me of Selena Sidorfian, then I probably wouldn't like the book as much as I did, because the similarities between Selena and Mia. However, as the story continued, Mia evolved and developed into her own completely unique character, which I really loved. Then we have Prince Quinn, who is sort of like the kind, intelligent, gentle prince, which I really liked. I really liked Quinn's character and just how he was and how Quinn and Mia interacted with each other. Another thing I liked about these two characters was that I enjoyed watching their romance evolve and their relationship with one another evolve as the story continued. I'm definitely a sucker for a good romance, whether it be in the main focus of the story or in the background, which in this book's case it was in the background of the story, but I enjoyed watching their relationship evolve and how they worked with one another, how it evolved. So I just have one spoilery note to talk about, so you can just jump to the timestamp that is on the screen if you haven't read this book yet. So I really loved the way Bree Barton wrote the end of this book. I think she wrote the end in just the right way. She let us know that Mia would survive the end scene of the book and that Mia would survive. However, she did it in a way which makes the reader want more and want to know more and want to pick up the next novel, which I think comes out at close to the end of this year. So it's a sort of cliffhanger, if you will, because she lets us know that Mia is going to survive, however makes the reader want more and want to know what happens next. So I really liked how she did that. So the only thing that I didn't like about this novel was one small minor detail. So throughout the first third or so of the book, a phrase kept being repeated, which just sort of annoyed me a little bit. So the phrase that she kept repeating was for Gwyroch. So for example, I have an example here. Safe haven. What did that even mean? For a Gwyroch, nowhere was safe. And on its own, that's fine, but she repeated it quite often, if I remember correctly, throughout the first third or so of the book, which isn't a big deal, but that was the only sort of problem that I had. But that was the last incident that she actually used that phrase, and that was on page 139, so she did stop using it after then, and that was good, so I was happy about that. But that was really the only minor hiccup that annoyed me slightly. So overall, I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I didn't give it a 5 stars because obviously of that little thing that annoyed me, but apart from that, this book was incredible, and that's why I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So I really enjoyed this book. I think it was incredible and I loved it so much. It was written beautifully and the characters were perfect. So if you haven't picked this book up, I highly recommend that you go and pick it up and read it because it's so good and it was such a good story, and I cannot wait to read the next one. Also, on a side note, if you were wondering about the tabs which I have in this book here, I annotated this book. It was my first time annotating. I did a whole video talking about my experience on that, which I will link in the description below if you want to go and check that one out. So that's my review for Heart of Thorns by Bree Barton. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. Make sure you click that little bell icon so you get notified every time I make an upload. All my social media will be linked in the description below if you want to go and follow any of those. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!